The 60s witnessed many distinctive elements that characterized the era, from fashion and pop culture to toys and youth habits. The 60s were marked by a spirit of change and experimentation. It was a time when society moved away from conservatism and adopted a freer approach to life. Let's take a trip into the depths of memory and look at some of the features. 1.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition.
The 60s were marked by forward thinking, when the space race attracted the attention of the whole world and gave everything a more futuristic aesthetic. The furniture acquired rocket-like shapes, and the clothes began to resemble plastic suits with matching hats. It was the era of drinking alcohol, watching shows like The Jetsons, and admiring the new worlds depicted in Star Trek and Lost in Space. 2. Various manias were also observed in the 60s, including Beatlemania, Batman mania and Bond mania. The popularity of James Bond films has sparked a craze for espionage both on the big screen and on television, thanks to shows such as Be Smarter, The Man from the United Nations, and Wild West. People couldn't get enough of the spy gadgets, beautiful girls, and cool cars associated with these secret agents traveling around the world. It is not surprising that the spy genre has become such an important part, especially against the backdrop of the Cold War and the spread of international espionage and government secrets. The Beatles' arrival in America in '64, when they performed on The Ed Sullivan Show, marked a turning point. A record 80 million people came to watch them perform, and thus began the phenomenon known as Beatlemania. Their mop hairstyle has become a popular trend, moving away from the short conservative haircuts of the 50s and inspiring teenagers around the world to imitate their image. 3. Sea monkeys were a common hobby of children in the 60s. Advertisements for these creatures often appeared in comic books, encouraging children to order them, despite the fact that these creatures, shrimp in brine, did not look at all like the sea monkeys depicted in the advertisement. The children still willingly spent $1 to buy them. The marketing ploy continued to fascinate children throughout the decade. 4. Before the advent of special hair straighteners in the 60s, people used real clothes, irons to straighten their hair. It was not uncommon to see women putting their heads on an ironing board while their mothers stroked their hair, risking getting burned in the pursuit of getting long straight hair. Cars were of great importance in the 60s, as evidenced by the number of people posing on the hoods of their cars for photos. Confident young men and women climbed onto the roof of their cars, striking poses while someone captured the moment. At that time, car hoods were designed differently and could easily withstand the weight of a person, which made it possible to take these classic photos. 6. Car stuffing was another phenomenon that caused children to climb into small cars like the Volkswagen Beetle to see how many people would fit inside. Filling cars even became a world record-setting competition, as it required all windows and doors to be completely closed. For many, refueling cars meant getting in the same car with friends and driving back and forth in the main lane on a Saturday evening. 7. In the 66th year, a rumor began to spread, giving rise to the infamous urban legend. The rumor suggested that Paul McCartney of the Beatles died in a car accident and was replaced by a doppelganger. Presumably, clues were found in songs and album covers hinting at his death. The conspiracy, known as Paul is Dead, gained momentum, especially after the words "Paul is dead" were allegedly heard playing the White Album backwards. The Abbey Road album cover has also been interpreted as depicting a funeral procession. However, all these connections were mere coincidences. 8. Ouija boards were a popular tool for finding supernatural answers in the 60s. By lightly touching a plastic tablet and asking questions, people believed they could communicate with spirits. The use of Ouija boards reached a special heyday in reflecting the era's fascination with the supernatural. 9. In the 60s, it was not uncommon to see young children climb into the rear window and lie down on the dashboard to take a nap while traveling by car. Larger cars of that time provided ample space at the rear window, serving as an ideal cot for small children. Riding in cars was a relatively unrestricted experience for children, as they moved freely around the front and back seats without wearing seat belts. 10. A laid-back version of Batman starring Adam West and Burt Ward was broadcast on ABC from the 66th to the 68th year. The show featured a number of memorable villains, and its characteristic comic book style effects bam, bang and boom boom made the children eagerly tune in. However, the show's popularity declined rapidly and it was cancelled after 3 seasons. These are just a few examples of the features and trends that characterized the 60s. It was a decade of rapid change, cultural shifts, and a desire for research and experimentation. These years have left an indelible mark on history, and they continue to be remembered for their distinctive style and unique quirks. Hi, we create unique videos on the channel dedicated to the unforgettable era of the 80s. If you are interested in retro culture, fashion, music and technology of that time, then our channel is perfect for you. We immerse ourselves in the atmosphere of the 80s, recreate vivid images, and talk about significant events and trends of that time. You will learn about cult films and TV series, fashionable styles and hairstyles, iconic music and musical groups, games and toys that have become true legends of the 80s. Our videos will help you plunge into the nostalgic atmosphere of the past, remember with love, or discover new aspects of this unique decade. We strive to present information in an interesting and entertaining way, so that every viewer enjoys watching it. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new videos about the 80s. We guarantee you an exciting journey through time, full of vivid memories and a great mood. Thank you for choosing our channel. America in those years was a time of significant change and social transformation. This decade has seen events that have had a profound impact on American and world history. The era of the 60s was a period of intense struggle for civil rights. African Americans and their supporters actively opposed racial discrimination and violence. Many protests, rallies and acts of civil disobedience, including the March on Washington for Work and Freedom in '63, led to the introduction of the Civil Rights Act of '64 and the election law of '65.